Have you ever felt like you're actually talking to your computer? You click something, you type something, and it responds. Well, you're not wrong. In a very real way, it is a conversation. And today, we're going to break down exactly how that conversation works.
So let's just start with that big question. How do all the ideas in your head, the commands you want to give, actually get inside this machine? And just as important, how does the machine talk back to you? It turns out the secret is that it's all just a continuous back and forth. It's a loop. You say something, the computer listens, it thinks for a second, and then it replies. This simple cycle is happening constantly, every single moment you're using a device. And that whole cycle, it's really just 3 simple steps. First, there's input. That's you talking to the computer. Second, there's the process. That's the computer thinking about what you just said. And finally, output. That's the computer talking back. Seriously, every single thing you do follows this exact pattern. All right, so to really get a handle on this conversation, we need to make sure we're all speaking the same language. Let's clearly define the 2 big players here, input and output. This lays it out perfectly. On one side, you have input. That's you telling the computer what to do, right? You're entering data, you're giving it instructions. On the other side, you have output. That's the computer's response. It's showing you the result of whatever it just processed. You talk, it replies. That's the core of it. Okay, let's zoom in on our side of the conversation first. How do we actually tell the computer what we want? Well, we use a whole bunch of different tools, and we call these input devices. So what is an input device? It's really simple. It's any piece of hardware, something you can physically touch, that lets you send your data, your instructions, into the computer. It's basically your microphone in this digital conversation. And wow, we have a lot of different ways to talk. These devices fit into some pretty clear categories. You've got text input with a keyboard, pointing devices like a mouse, you can give it images with a scanner or a camera, and you can even speak to it directly with a microphone. Each one is built for a different kind of instruction. Let's start with the absolute classics, the ones that pretty much all of us use every single day. The keyboard, for typing out our thoughts, and the mouse for pointing, clicking, and navigating around. These are really the bread and butter of how we command our computers. But what if you want to bring something from the real world into the digital world? That's where these guys come in. A scanner can take a physical photo and turn it into a file. A microphone captures your voice. A webcam captures, well, you. These devices are basically the eyes and ears of the computer. And then you have the specialists. You probably don't have these sitting on your desk, but they're out there solving very specific problems. A joystick gives you that fine-tuned control for gaming. A barcode reader makes checkout at the grocery store super fast. They're all just different ways of talking to a computer to get a very specific job done. Okay, so we've totally covered how we talk to the computer, but the conversation is a 2-way street, right? So how does it talk back to us? This is where output devices enter the picture. Now, when the computer replies, its response usually comes in one of 2 main flavors. First, you've got soft copy. Think of this as anything temporary and digital that you see on a screen. But when you need a permanent, physical version, that's a hard copy, something you can actually hold in your hand, like a printed photo. The real difference here is permanence. For sure, the most common way a computer talks back is by showing us things. Your monitor, whether it's an LCD or a newer LED, is the main face of the computer. And a projector? Well, that's just a way to make the computer's face way bigger so a whole room can see its response. But we don't just see the computer's replies, we can hear them and we can touch them. Printers, both inkjet and laser, give us that physical hard copy we were just talking about. Speakers and headphones let us hear music, alarms, or the other people in a video call. And then you have wild tools like a plotter that can print out huge, detailed things like architectural blueprints. So far, we've kind of treated input and output like 2 totally separate things. But modern tech, well, it loves to blur the lines. Now we have these amazing devices that can actually listen and talk at the exact same time. And this is where things get really cool and intuitive. Just think about the touch screen on your phone. You give it input by touching it, and you get output right there on that same surface. Or a headset, right? It's got a microphone for your input and speakers for the output, all in one device. These hybrids make our conversation with computers feel so much more natural and seamless. So we've looked at both sides of the conversation, how we talk and how the computer talks back. But why is this whole cycle so important to understand? Because, at the end of the day, these devices form an absolutely critical bridge. So let's just do a super quick recap. You have input devices. Their job is to get data in. Think of a keyboard. You have output devices. Their job is to show you the result, like a monitor. And then you have those awesome combo devices that do both jobs at once, like a touchscreen.
I absolutely love this quote from our source material because it just nails it. These devices are not just little accessories you plug in, they are the communication bridge. They are the only way we can connect our human world to the digital world inside the machine.
Think about it. Without this bridge, a computer is just a silent, useless box. It has all this potential, but no way to use it. These devices are what make communication possible. They're what make computing interactive, accessible, and actually useful. They are what make the magic happen.
And really, how much of our useful interaction with a computer depends on this relationship? 100%. Every single useful thing you do relies on this constant conversation of input and output.
And that leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about. As our devices get smarter and smarter, think about a smart speaker that's always listening for your input, or augmented reality glasses that are constantly providing output onto the real world. That line between input and output is getting blurrier every single day. So as we move forward, you have to wonder, where does one truly end and the other begin?